London has always been governed by tradition, centuries of law, ceremony, and quiet power. But by 2040, imagine a different kind of authority rising over the Thames, not a prime minister's speech, not a vote in parliament, but a dashboard. A system that optimizes budgets, predicts protests, flags financial risk, and recommends policy like it's adjusting a thermostat. You step out at Westminster in the rain and the city feels unchanged, black cabs, stone bridges, red buses, until you notice the invisible layer, cameras tracking flow, algorithms nudging behavior, decisions arriving already pre-approved by models. The terrifying part isn't an AI takeover. It's the moment democracy starts feeling automated. London today is layered power. Ancient stone beside glass towers. Old money beside new fintech. A city where history is a kind of currency, and where influence moves quietly through law firms, banks, ministries, and committees. You can feel it in the choreography of the place, the tube swallowing crowds, the city of London waking early, Westminster arguing late, and the rest of the city trying to survive rent that climbs like a tide. London already runs on systems, schedules, protocols, regulations, bureaucracy. That's why AI fits so easily. It doesn't need to change London's identity. It only needs to slip into the gears, and start turning them faster than humans can follow. By 2040, London's AI transformation begins where the city is most sensitive, money and governance. In the city, AI doesn't just detect fraud, it forecasts systemic risk, simulating shocks across markets like weather models simulate storms. Banks run stress tests in real time. Regulators receive continuous risk briefings generated by machines that never sleep. And in government, policy becomes data-driven in a new way. Models forecast hospital load, energy demand, crime hotspots, and migration pressure, then recommend budgets and interventions with confidence scores attached. Ministers still speak to cameras, but behind the scenes, the argument shifts from ideology to optimization. The model says this will work. When policy becomes a numbers game, the hardest question is obvious: who trains the model, and whose definition of success wins? Transport is where London's intelligence becomes physical. By 2040, the underground feels less like a network and more like a managed bloodstream. Driverless trains arrive with surgical timing, platforms regulate crowd flow with light cues, subtle sound prompts, and dynamic gates that open only when it's safe. On the street, autonomous buses glide through priority lanes that reconfigure by hour, and delivery robots move through back streets like quiet clerks. Congestion pricing becomes fully dynamic, set minute by minute to shape behavior, not just raise revenue. It's brilliant when it works: fewer delays, fewer accidents, fewer chaotic bottlenecks. But Londoners begin to notice something else: the city can steer you without touching you. It can price, route, and schedule your freedom until choice feels like a suggestion. Smart living in London 2040 splits neatly along postcodes. In central zones, luxury flats become quiet command centers. AI concierge systems screen visitors, negotiate services, and coordinate building security with city networks. Your home learns your schedule, manages energy costs, filters air during pollution spikes, and suggests safer walking routes after dark. In older estates, upgrades come slower: cheaper sensor kits, shared surveillance, more rules, fewer benefits. Even the architecture changes. Retrofitted Victorian terraces hide sensors in doorframes, new towers are built like vertical operating systems. The promise is comfort and safety. The trade is that daily life becomes governed by permissions: who can enter, who can linger, who gets flagged as unusual. London stays elegant. It just becomes administrated. London's economy feels the shift in its most iconic institutions. London's economy feels the shift in its most iconic institutions. By 2040, legal work becomes machine speed, contracts drafted, negotiated, and checked by AI agents that catch contradictions like spellcheck catches typos. Banking becomes less about staff and more about models, credit decisions, compliance, and market-making handled by systems that leave humans with oversight and liability. Even government jobs change. Civil servants become auditors of algorithms, tasked with explaining model outcomes to the public when the public doesn't like the results. Some careers bloom: AI policy, cyber risk, digital forensics. Others thin out quietly, one efficiency initiative at a time. And when the city's best jobs become about supervising black boxes, a new kind of class emerges: people who understand the system, and everyone who has to live under it. The algorithm doesn't have to change your vote to change your democracy. By 2040, systems that predict public opinion become powerful enough to shape it, quietly. Policy proposals are to be tested like ads. Headlines are modeled for emotional impact. Public safety alerts are timed to minimize backlash. And because the city's services are optimized through data, the temptation is constant: nudge behavior for stability. The scariest scenario isn't a dictator. It's a feedback loop, where leaders follow the model follows the crowd, and the crowd is being guided by invisible incentives. London becomes the place where the question stops being, who governs, and becomes, what governs. London already has one of the densest camera networks on Earth. By 2040, the change isn't more cameras, it's smarter interpretation. AI correlates CCTV with transport taps, purchase patterns, and phone location pings to build real-time city awareness. In high-security zones, anomaly detection flags unattended bags, sudden sprints, tense crowd formations. Drones appear only during spikes, like invisible backup. The official story is resilience: fewer attacks, faster response, safer streets. But surveillance becomes ambient, like weather. You stop noticing it, until you need to challenge it. And then you discover the hardest part: when an AI marks you as an anomaly, proving your normal can feel impossible. Inequality in London 2040 isn't only about wealth, it's about friction. The affluent buy smoother lives, priority mobility, better schools with AI tutors, concierge healthcare, and privacy lawyers who can challenge data decisions. Everyone else gets the default layer: more automated enforcement, more risk scoring, fewer human appeals. Even housing changes: smart districts become verified zones, where access is seamless if you're approved, and exhausting if you're not. The city becomes two Londons: one where the system feels like service, and one where the system feels like scrutiny. And because it's algorithmic, it's harder to protest. You can't march against a face. You have to march against a model. A day in London 2040 feels like a city politely guiding you by the elbow. Your commute is recommended based on predicted crowding. Your Oyster tap is priced dynamically depending on route and time. Your phone receives a gentle alert: avoid a street near Whitehall, temporary restrictions. At the office, your AI assistant pre-writes your meeting notes and reminds you which phrases play best with stakeholders, because it's analyzed everyone's past reactions. In the evening, you meet friends in Soho, and the street feels alive: music, lights, laughter, until you notice the invisible choreography: cameras rotating, drones appearing above the crowd, access barriers quietly shifting to steer people away from trouble before it starts. It's London, still beautiful, still sharp. Just quietly, managed. The final vision of London 2040 is a city where logic sits in the driver's seat, calm, efficient, and difficult to argue with. Trains arrive like clockwork. Budgets are optimized. Threats are predicted. Public services respond before complaints even form. And yet something intangible shifts: politics becomes performance layered over machine decisions. Mistakes become model outputs. Accountability becomes an email chain with no final human signature. London remains a capital of the world, but the kind of capital changes. It becomes the prototype of algorithmic governance: elegant, stable, and quietly terrifying, because once a city runs well under AI, it becomes harder and harder to remember why humans demanded the right to govern themselves in the first place. That if London's AI system could reduce crime, balance budgets, and predict crises, but it also shaped policy through invisible nudges, would you still call it democracy? Comment trust IT or never, and tell me, what decision should always stay human? This is Infinity AI TV, infinite stories, infinite imagination. Subscribe for more news.